What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update. We'd go into the last 24 hours of Tottenham news. Quite a bit to get through. Ali Gold says that Johan Lange and Rob McKenzie with Ange Postecoglou have sorted out all their plans for the summer transfer window. So hopefully the deals will start rolling in now. In terms of Dan Kilpatrick, he's given us quite an extensive update regarding outgoings. He says Brian Hill, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Giovanni Lo Celso are set to leave Tottenham this summer, while Joe Rodon, Jed Spence, Sergio Reguilon, Tanguy Ndombele and Japhet Tanganga are not in Ange Postecoglou's plans. Spurs will consider offers for Richarlison, despite the Brazilian's insistence that he's staying in England this summer. Tottenham would also listen to suitable offers for squad players such as Ben Davies, Ollie Skipp and Manuel Solomon. Postecoglou does want to keep Bissouma and Bentancur at the club, and it would take a massive offer to tempt Spurs to sell either of those midfielders.
Interesting to mention Bentancur there, because there's not really been any talk about him potentially leaving, but I guess what Kilpatrick is suggesting there is Tottenham might be open to him leaving at the right price, which is not great, because if we were convinced that he would get back to his best, why would we be at all open to him leaving? So that's not the best news. Obviously the outgoings, nothing, no surprises there. In terms of Johan Lange and Rob McKenzie having their business planned out, I mean, that is their job, so I'd assume so. I really hope it's not just now.
So the update is Johan Lange, Rob McKenzie and Ange Postecoglou do their job.
Exactly. Great update. It's a bit like saying breaking news, Ange just picked his team for the next game. It's like, okay, I hope so. Look, in terms of the outgoings, it's a lot of work to do. We know that. It's about whether we can get them all out the door in a timely manner. Well, look, what it sounds like with Manuel Solomon, though, is he's put him in the same boat as some of the other guys.
Ben Davies and Ollie Skipp.
Davies, Ollie Skipp. So it sounds like we're very much open to him leaving. So after a year with little football and a big injury, sounds like we're ready to cut our ties with him.
Yeah, with those three players, Skipp, Ben Davies and Manuel Solomon, it says for a suitable offer. Seeing as we did get him on a free just last summer, what do you think a suitable offer is for him? Because anything is profit.
Yeah, between 10 and 15 million potentially, something like that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe even less. But we'll see what happens. I mean,
I don't know if we accept less than 10.
Brought in Timo Werner. You got Heung-min Son there. You got Mikey Moore from the academy, but obviously that's probably a separate situation. So you've got Manuel Solomon, he's kind of like the odd one out, isn't he?
I think I reckon Levy would rather loan him out than sell him for less than 10, because he knows if he loans him, he has a good loan spell. That could be a £20 million player right there. Unless
they really are worried about the injury problems that he does have, and if they load him out and they think he's going to get another long-term injury, that maybe decreases his value.
Yeah, it depends. But I reckon, I've got a feeling, if they don't get a right offer, they'll loan him.
Next up, Jed Spence. Nazar Kinsella says Genoa want to sign Jed Spence on a permanent basis from Tottenham, but don't want to pay the full £8.5 million buy option, which was included in the initial loan deal. I mean, it's not exactly a hefty fee, is it?
No, but as we've reported before, clubs around Europe right now don't have loads of cash, and even like a fee as much as £8.5 million might be a little bit to Premier League teams, but for teams around Europe, that's something that they're going to have to seriously consider.
Didn't they just get 30 million off us from Dragushin?
Doesn't matter. There's still not a lot of that much money. Exactly, that's a third of that, and on a player who like Jed Spence, who I don't know how convinced they are on him, but obviously, for a Premier League team, if you're asking $8.5 million, they don't really think twice about it. But for teams, especially in Italy and Spain, where money's very tight at the moment, especially since COVID, money's been very tight for all these clubs. There's a real cash problem at the moment around Europe. So I'm not surprised that they're kind of trying to get as little price as possible. They're trying to get it down. Not to say that they definitely won't pay the $8.5. It says they don't want to. It doesn't say they won't, though.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see how that one progresses over the next few weeks. Let's talk about potential incomings now. Eberechi Eze, Give Me Sports, says that Tottenham and Chelsea look set to battle it out for the services of Crystal Palace star Eberechi Eze this summer. Postecoglou is keen on bolstering his attack and has identified Eze as an option who could improve his side. The two London clubs look poised to go head-to-head for the Palace star, who is not expected to come cheap. It is explained that Palace boss Oliver Glasner is keen on retaining Eze's services ahead of the first full season in charge, and the Eagles will not entertain selling the player for less than £60 million, which I think is, if it is 60 million, I know they say nothing less than 60, but if it is 60, I think that's a really fair price for someone like Eze.
More than fair. I think he's close to £100 million player, to be honest. So I really rate him. I think since Glasner's come in as well, he's really been an unbelievable breath of fresh air in the last 2 months of the season. But I think he's been one of those players who's been carrying Roy Hodgson's team for a number of years. He's that good. You put him in a team like Spurs, and I think you just watch him fly. Obviously, this is Give Me Sports. It's not like the best. It's not the best reporter. But if it's between us and Chelsea, obviously Chelsea probably can offer more money. I know they offer long contracts. They offer like 8-9 year contracts.
Yeah, that's all come to an end though, isn't it?
That is true. Yeah, they did come to an end. But I'm sure they can offer the maximum contract they can. I really hope we can sell it to him. I know we've been trying to schmooze him. You've seen the pictures of Maddison on the England duty, having a laugh and joke with him. We saw when he came to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium that a lot of the Tottenham players were having a laugh with him, like Sonny. So I really hope he looks at the Spurs project and thinks that could be one for him. But I just know that Chelsea's quite a hard club to turn down.
He could be looking at Chelsea though, like after everything that's happened over the last couple of years. Bowley's come in, so many different managers. Poch has just been, relieved of his duties. A new manager coming in now. He could look at Spurs as a more stable project.
Yeah, true. I hope so, and I think he would be right in that. And as well, Chelsea, new manager coming in, is he going to want to trust this project? Are they even going to give this manager time? I reckon they would actually have more chance if they kept Poch, maybe to get Eze than what they are now. So if it is between us and Chelsea, I hope we come around as a better project. I just know we've been rejected for Chelsea so many times. It's just got a bit of PTSD about it.
I look at Eze and I feel like he's the perfect option for us. There's no one better, in my opinion, than Eze that you can bring in now, not only because of the quality of the player, but the quality of two different positions where you're looking at serious competition for Maddison and you're looking at serious competition for Sonny and Timo on that left-hand side. Yeah,
and obviously he's one of the best in the league, so everything he walks into our team is just about where.
Yeah. Another report from Give Me Sport is on Evanilson, and this one says Tottenham is reportedly eyeing a summer move for Porto's prolific striker Evanilson. Spurs have identified the Brazilian forward as a prime target following a stellar season where he's netted 24 goals in 41 appearances across all competitions. However, Tottenham is not alone in their pursuit. Newcastle United is also said to be interested in Evanilson, potentially setting a stage for a competitive bidding war. Porto, aware of the player's rising stock, and have reportedly set a valuation of £60 million. While Evanilson appears to be the ideal candidate to lead the line under Postecoglou's system, the heavy price tag might give Tottenham pause. The club must evaluate whether such an investment is justifiable or if more cost-effective alternatives are available on the market. What's your opinion on him as a player alone?
I can't say too much about him out in Portugal, but I did watch him in the Champions League, and he was really good in the Champions League, and he had a really good group stage. I thought against Arsenal, he was given a real torrid time. Even at the Emirates, I thought he was battling really well with their centre backs. Obviously, he's quite a tall striker. I think he's over 6 foot. He's
quick.
He's fairly quick as well for a big man. I don't think he's like the most dominant in the air, but he's strong. He's definitely a strong player, and he is quite. He's for his height, he's quite quick in behind. Obviously, a good finisher. Does get the goals. So definitely interesting option. I do wonder how he is when it comes to bring other players into play. But I was having a quick look at him in terms of his defensive stats, in terms of how he presses, and they're very strong. And they definitely profiles really well as a player who likes to press from the front. He does win quite a few challenges in the attacking third, so he would fit in there. So I think that profile-wise, definitely fits the bill. It's just about whether his hold-up play is a big question. But as a big, strong forward, you'd think it's not bad.
Yeah, I really like him every time I've seen him play. Knows where the back of the net is, an aggressive striker as well. And I do think he will fit Ange Postecoglou's system. Next up, we're going to talk about Murillo once again. Ali Gold now saying that Murillo is one that Tottenham have been keeping an eye on the centre-back. There has been another report saying that Chelsea are very much interested in Murillo as well. Yeah, it just seems like more and more journalists kind of jumping on this one.
Yeah, it seems like clearly with the PSR problems that Forest have, we know we want a centre-back. So it's obviously one that we're looking at. It's whether we're going to pull the trigger. Again, I think it will cost money. I don't think he's going to be cheap. But he could be one we can get for under the value that he would have been without the PSR. So it could be a good opportunity, and he definitely is a kind of centre back who would thrive playing in the kind of system that Ange likes to play. Brave on the ball, likes to get forward, drives forward with the ball, and he's big, he's strong as well. So I do think he's an exciting player, but it's whether the deal is right for everyone.
Yeah. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Davide Frattesi of Inter Milan. Inter publication called Inter Live say that Tottenham have been following Inter Milan's Davide Frattesi and are interested in making a move for him. Interesting one. He's played 32 games this season for Inter Milan, but more or less from the bench, a bit of a bit part role player. 935 minutes in 32 games is not exactly the most amount of minutes, but 6 goals and 4 assists in that time.
15 goal contributions in all competitions.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's not bad, but do you know much about him?
I remember him from Sassuolo, but obviously he played for Inter this season. He was kind of one of those dodgy Italian deals where they loaned him and then they signed him permanently. It was one of those things.
Was it Sassuolo under De Zerbi?
I don't think so. Unless I don't know how long he was there for. He might have been. He
played 76 games for them, so maybe.
He might have been. I'm not sure. But technical midfielder. Obviously, Inter Milan like to play a 3-5-2 formation. He likes to play maybe that bit of box-to-box kind of role in the midfield. And obviously, he knows where the goal is, likes to make those late runs. He has quite a few caps for Italy as well. I think over 10 caps for Italy.
17, yeah.
So I think
13.
he's clearly a good player. But if Inter are willing to let him go after one season, that would be a bit strange, considering they signed him for, I think, 30 million euros. So that's quite a big outlay, even for an Inter Milan team who are trying to cut back on costs. We know they had to sell a lot of players because of money struggles. So they did sign him. He's done well. Unless either they want to sell him or they don't want to sell him and they're going to command a very big fee. So either way, I'm not sure how likely it is.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see how that one progresses. But maybe it's another one out of the Fabio Paratici playbook. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we brought to you today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.